Well, hey guys, it's Destry. I'm back in my greenhouse today. Today I'm going to be working on making some fall wreaths. It's a chillier day here in the Pacific Northwest. We have a rain front coming in. So I'm going to be hanging out in my greenhouse and making some fall wreaths today. So I'm going to flip the camera around, show you what I'm going to be working with, some of the wreath materials that I have, and then just kind of start going for it. So let's make some crafty wreaths today for fall. Right, so here are the 4 wreath forms that I have available. And then I do have 4 of these little mini wreath forms here, which you can see I started playing around with a couple of these. Now I have a plan for 2 of these for my front entryway decor. And then I just have a lot of dried materials. So I've got hydrangea here. I've got some really pretty grasses. I have some dried allium bulbs, some dried sage, some dried yarrow, more allium bulbs back here, some eucalyptus stems that I actually got from the Goodwill. I'm pretty sure they're a dyed eucalyptus and dyed and dried. And then I have some of these, I think they're called a money plant. They have these like, or like a coin plant. I have a few more of some dried things that I thrifted, and then more things that are drying. So I have some amaranth that I have drying here. It's pretty fragile, but I might try to use some of that. We'll have to see. More of this kind of sage that I harvested or kind of foraged for, I should say. These are the stalks from my hostas, and they're not quite there yet. They're still, like you can kind of see, they're still pretty green, so I might not use those today. I have some dried lavender here. So I definitely have been going through and hanging things upside down and drying things here in my greenhouse. All right, so I think this is the one I'm going to start with today. This one is the smallest of the bigger ones that I have, and I'm going to look for the nicest area. You can see I don't really like that, so I'm going to make this the front. And then looking at the shape, I think I'm going to make this the top. So I'm going to grab more of that purple ribbon to put up there, but I'm just going to go ahead and start laying things out here. And I'm going to start with sort of like you would for an arrangement. I'm going to start with a filler. So one thing I have a lot of is this, what I think is a sage. So I scavenged this, or foraged for it, I should say, maybe not scavenged. I foraged for it in kind of a wooded area. So I'm just going to start by kind of sticking some things in here. And you want to make your wreath, I think for this one, I'll start to make it go this way. You kind of want all of your branching items to kind of go the same direction. But this smells so good, so I definitely think it's some kind of a sagebrush of some sort. Tell me in the comments if you know more than I do about what this might be. Okay. All right, I'm really liking the way that that's looking. So far, so good. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my next ingredient here. And since they're right here and kind of in the way, maybe I'll just use some of this hydrangea bloom. And again, I'm sort of weaving things into these grapevine rings and sort of, you know, keeping them all sort of going in the same direction here. It's really handy to have clippers around too, so that you can shorten things as you need to. And the one thing, I made a couple of these wreaths the other day, and the one thing you do have to be kind of careful of is they are pretty fragile. So meaning things like that, like I just broke the stem of that, darn it, shoot. So, you know, you are working with natural things here, so It makes it a little more fragile than like working with faux flowers. And I'm working with real dried things here. Go ahead and do some of this yarrow next. I have quite a bit of this and I really like the color and how it dried. So I'm going to work with the yarrow next. So on these ones, I'm just going to kind of strip the bottom leaves off of here, and that gives me a little stick so I can try to weave that in. This one's a little long too, so I think I'm gonna try to look for shorter pieces of this if I can. So like this one's a little smaller. Also figure out what the top, where's the top, and then create that stick to kind of weave down in. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So I've got yellow and green. Let's see if there's any other more colors I can kind of bring into this. I do have these dried alliums, these smaller drumstick alliums, which are really pretty. So I think I'm going to try maybe incorporating some of these in here. All right, so I have these leaves, and I think I want to incorporate, I'm trying to get more color. So I kind of have my green, but I think I'm going to try some of these for more kind of a brown color, and they're sort of a different shape. I just feel like I need a little bit of contrast here, and I'm not quite achieving what I'm after. So let me try some of these. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and grab my ribbon, and I'm going to do the same trick I did with this. So you just pull your ribbon through to make a hanger. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and set that one aside. I think it's looking pretty nice and full. It's looking good enough for me. And then I'm going to grab another wreath. Right, so here's my next wreath. So I think instead of that sage to start, I do have a lot of that sage, but I think maybe I'll start with, I think I'm going to start with these alliums. I have so many of these. So let's start there. Let's just start with some of these allium bulbs. Those on there, and now I think I'm going to go in here with the red eucalyptus. All right, so this one's filling up nicely. I do have this bottom piece right here, and I want to put something here that's going to be the focal point. So I think what I'm going to do is build this up a little bit. I'm going to put some yarrow down here first, and then I'm going to use some of my really big, like globe alliums to create the focal point. But before I put those in, I'm just going to, got this really pretty vine right here. I'm just going to kind of beef this up a little bit. These are they, and they're full of seeds, so I'm going to de-seed them just a bit. And yeah, I think I want this, I'm going to go a little shorter with this because I really want it to be like Bam. Ba-bam. Now, do I have any place left to stick it? That's the question. And the answer is, I don't know. Now I'm going to cover up all that stuff I just put in, so maybe not. Oh, it's not in there very good. It's not wanting to go. Come on, dude. It's hard to do this and force it without cracking the stem. That's not in there as well as I'd like it to be. I'm trying to pull it from the back. There we go. Okay, I pulled it from the back. Hopefully that'll stay. Yes, it's good, it's good, it's good. My goodness, I feel like I could even just keep going. Like I said, I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to come back to it later and assess and really kind of see what else needs to happen here. All right, so we're going to call that one done for now. All right, before I move on to the next one, I've got to clean up a little bit here because this is craziness. So the thing I love about a messy mat or these little gardening mats, anything, you can use a towel or whatever, I can just go like that. I'm going to dump that in my little garbage can I have down here, or my little paper bag, and voila, ready for the next. Okay, the next one, and I'm going to take off my sweatshirts. Ooh, it's getting a little warm in the greenhouse now that I'm rolling around and making wreaths. Okay, so next up is going to be this one. So this is, I think it's just a little bit bigger than the last one I did. So I think I'm going to do it in a similar way. So all right, guys, well, here's how this one is turning out. And I wanted to show you my trick here for these pine cones. So what I'm doing is I have this wired, you could use any kind of wire. I was looking for my floral wire, but I didn't find it. This is like a padded wire, rapid clip, soft wire tie. I use this for tying up plants, but what I did is I just put a blob of hot glue here on the bottom of the pine cone and then kind of made like a little loop. And then I've made kind of my own wired pine cones. So what I'm going to try to do is thread these down in. Now I would prefer for this to be green, right? Instead of this, I'm sorry, brown instead of this green, but that's what I got. So we're going to make it work here. And so hopefully I can kind of use this and push it down in. Yeah, so I'm going to do 5 pine cones here at the bottom of the wreath, and then I think this one's going to be done. I'm going to call it done. I did put some sage, some yarrow. I did definitely make this one, you know, have this focal point down here at the bottom, so visually it's heavier at the bottom, but that's kind of the look I wanted. I'm going to try not to crush these pine cones, but again, I'm doing kind of a grouping of 5 things here, so odd numbers. Could have made those a little shorter. I wasn't sure how they were going to turn out, so I made them nice and long. And again, if you push things straight back through the wreath, you can always go back in and go to the bottom underneath here and just make sure that it's either wrapped around or that it's not showing. Yeah, okay, so I think that's going to finish this one up. I also went ahead and looped a ribbon up here at the top so that it would be ready for hanging. So I'm going to set this last one aside. So hopefully you can see on the camera how that turned out. I think it looks so good. And the last one I'm going to be working on is this one. And I did kind of save this one for last just because it's this different, it's kind of a different texture than the grapevine. It's a little bit more, I don't know, even and controlled. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but I am going to put the loop first just so I can show you what I'm doing with the loop. Oh, and I'm going to use the rest of this ribbon apparently because that's all there was on the roll. But for the loop, what I'm going to do is you just double it in half like this, and then grab that loop and go up through And then I'm just doing up here at the top, just this one's a little short because I didn't have as much, but just a knot like that. And at least it gives a loop to hang it. So when I hang it on the flower stand, or if someone wants to hang it when they get home. So that's how to do that loop. You just thread it through and through. Okay, so this guy is, I'm not sure about him. I think I'd like to leave the integrity of this and just do this one as maybe either, I think I want to do a focal point on the side actually. So instead of the two, I did two now with kind of a heavier, visually heavier bottom. So let's do one kind of over here. What is that? 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock on my clock. All right, guys. Well, Mr. Midnight is here with us. He has a little owie on his back because he got in a fight with one of the neighbor cats, so he had to go to the vet yesterday. But anyway, I am done with my wreath making, so I thought I would take you on a little tour. So here's the first one, and again, I've got ribbons on all of these. So this is actually here. This is actually the top. They are pretty fragile. So there's that one. There's this one, which this is the ribbon, so the top is there, so that's more straight. There is this one, which the bottom ended up being pretty wide, but I still like the way it turned out, and I like all the little pine cones at the bottom and this like spray at the bottom, I guess. This one also has like that spray at the bottom a little bit. It's a little bottom heavy. I did do these cute little 4 cuties. I had a plan to use 2 of these on my topiaries out front, but I might keep all 4. I don't know. They're all the same. I did put a little bit of the wheat in there, and it has the eucalyptus and some of the other brown leaves. And then this is the last one, and honestly, I think it might be my favorite. So here's the top, and then I just kind of, you know, worked my way around this little corner here. So I'll try to close up on this. I did the same trick with the pine cones and added the wire to them, but I just love the way that one turned out. I think it's so pretty. It's so fall. It's a little simpler because you can see, you know, more of the wreath. And so I definitely have learned a lot today in the process of making these, and I think they're gorgeous. So I'm excited to put them out on the flower stand and see what people think. See if anyone might want to buy them. So I've got 4 big ones and then the 4 little ones, and yeah, I'm really happy with how they turned out, and I definitely have a lot of dried material left, like a lot of dried things left to keep going here and making more. So more to come on this project, but yeah, I'm really happy with how they turned out. So I hope you liked checking this out and watching me make some wreaths today. Guys, well, that's going to be it for the video today. Like I said, I hope you liked checking this out and seeing me make some wreaths out of natural materials. It's been a really fun challenge, and it's really neat to think that a lot of these things, well, not all of them, but some of them I did grow, and that I'm using things, you know, found in nature instead of, you know, kind of acrylic leaves and things like that. Things that, you know, you could pull out at the end of the season, be done with it, and try something new next year with your wreath form if you wanted to. Anyway, if you need me, I'll be hanging out in my Oregon yard doing some gardening, and if you could please like and subscribe and share this video with a friend, that would mean the world to me. I'll see you next time. Bye.